Friday Night Rugby on the NCR YouTube channel. Thanks so much for tuning in for this top 5 matchup in women's college rugby. It's the number 4 Michigan Wolverines, the number 1 Fighting Irish of Notre Dame here at Stinson Rugby Field. For my broadcast partner, Chris Daly, I'm Charlie Morris. Thanks again for tuning in under the lights in South Bend, Indiana. Chris, it doesn't get much better than this. Number 1, number 4. What do you got?
Charlie, I am pumped to be with you on the National Collegiate Rugby YouTube channel. What a blessing it is for us to be back right here. Friday Night Rugby, as you said. And yeah, what we have here is a Michigan team that's won back-to-back national titles relatively recently. 2022, 2023 national champs. They actually beat Notre Dame College, not the University of Notre Dame, Notre Dame College in that 2023 game. And then we have a Notre Dame team that's number 1 for the first time in program history. They've been on a tear this season. They have one of the best players in college rugby. That would be none other than number 13, Mia Blocker, Blocker, excuse me. You see her right now.
Yeah, Blocker cutting through tackles, and she's all the way down inside the 22. If you're a Notre Dame fan, that's a sight to behold every time number 13 in Navy gets the ball. And Chris, you mentioned it. We're just 2 years removed from the second of 2 straight national championships for this Michigan Wolverines team, who are 2-2 to start their year, as the Irish trying to push ahead, get inside the 5 almost, down inside the 22 on the near side of the field. And Notre Dame with first possession trying to strike first. The number 1 team in women's college rugby Division 1A. Michigan number 4 in the same division. And it's been a good start for the Fighting Irish. And we get a whistle and a penalty against Notre Dame, and that's going to set them back. And so right away, Michigan gets a key defensive stop, Chris. And as we get going in this game, we're having some technical difficulties with the clock in arena. I'll tell you that we're about a minute and a half into a 0-0 game, and we'll keep you up to date with the score and time as best we can until we get that resolved. So bear with us. We have many people working on it, and we're very thankful for them.
You can already see how good both of these teams are. They're well-deserved, number 1 and number 4. And the fireworks are ready from Notre Dame's offense. They are fast, they are physical, and they move the ball real nicely. You can already see switching the ball to the right side of the pitch.
And there goes Blocker, one girl to beat, and she's going to get around her. And as advertised, Mia Blocker scores the first try of the game. It just took 2 minutes. Try number 13 on the season for number 13. And that did not take long.
Yeah, well, you got to start counting how many tries she's going to score. Blocker had 4 against Purdue, 5 against Michigan State, and 3 versus Indiana, an All-American last year. She's absolutely unreal. A super athlete, just real twitchy. Her first step is so quick, leaves defenders in the dust. She's really an opponent's nightmare. That's a great start to the day from Mia Blocker, and I love how Notre Dame moved the ball quickly to get it out to her. They know who their star player is. It's Mia Blocker. What are you going to do? You give her the ball. It's that simple, Charlie.
Yeah, we might start calling her Mia Hat Tricks, as you mentioned it. She's had at least 3 tries in every game so far this season, and off to a very good start tonight against the number 4 Michigan Wolverines. The conversion kick, plenty of leg, and it's good. Well done. Raquel Munoz Bermudez, the freshman, knocks it through, and Notre Dame takes a 7-0 lead with 36.5 minutes to go in half number 1.
Well, that's a dream start for Notre Dame. And this is a rivalry we haven't even touched on so much in the grand scheme of things. Notre Dame, Michigan. These 2 schools hate each other. It's I think that's the most simple way to put it. They are not friends.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the sport is. This is a rivalry across them all. Even though they've stopped playing on the national stage in football, they still play plenty of times in other sports, including hockey, where they're both in the Big Ten, and rugby, both men and women, where it's always a heated battle. And we expect some of that tonight, Chris. And, you know, you look at this Michigan team, they're 2-2. That's not really a resume you usually see for the number 4 team in the country, but their losses have come to some pretty good opponents.
They have come to some good opponents. They had lost to both Virginia, who is number 2 in the country currently, right behind Notre Dame, as well as Ohio State. And speaking of losses, they've also lost 2 All-Americans from last year in Rebecca Dooley and Catherine Gale. And it's going to be tough if you're a program and you're losing 2 superstars. Imagine if Notre Dame had lost Mia Blocker, right? There's a lot of learning you have to do after that. How do you play? How do you attack as a team without your star players? So that's what Michigan's been trying to find early in this season, and they're a team that's only going to get better as these games just roll along here.
Yeah, and despite being 2-2, I think it would be remiss not to point out that their point differential is plus 115. They've scored 152 points in their 4 games, including big beat-ups of crosstown rival Michigan State 83-0. That was their last game, a big victory. And they also beat Indiana 52-0 earlier this year. Notre Dame also beat the Hoosiers 64-7. If you could believe it, Chris, that was Notre Dame's worst offensive performance of the season, as they've scored 71 and 75 points in their other 2 games.
I can't believe it. It's just absurd, the stats and the numbers they have put up.
Yeah, the Irish come in. If you thought plus 115 was impressive, how about plus 177 and 3-0 record, 210 points for, just 33 against in their 3 victories that have them at number 1 in the 1A division.
Some good form here on the tackling, too, from the Irish, and they're a complete team. That's why they are number 1. We've talked a lot about their offensive production, but in just about all of those games, they're not letting up any points as well, which is equally as impressive.
Yeah, the most points they've allowed this year in a game is 14 to Michigan State, and they put up 71, and there they get the defensive stop as Michigan got it into plus territory for the first time, and referee will call back to play. It appears Notre Dame was playing with advantage, so they'll get to reset after a Michigan knock-on. And so a 7-0 Notre Dame lead. Early try for Mia Blocker. We're 6.5 minutes into half number 1. Thanks again for joining us on this Friday evening on the NCR YouTube channel. Notre Dame and Michigan, the National Collegiate Rugby Game of the Week. A lot of hype building up to this one, and for good reason. Number 1 against number 4. And it's the host Fighting Irish off to that early lead. Under the lights at Stinson, we've got as you mentioned, Chris, in the onset, off the air, almost a leprechaun here. Not the leprechaun, but a fan dressed as a leprechaun, and that's going to do. Pretty good attendance tonight as the Irish look to get across midfield, and they'll nearly do that with another star player, Isabel Henderson.
Yeah.
Got a couple hat tricks this season herself.
Henderson was part of that All-American high-performance team, traveled to England alongside Mia Blocker.
Yeah, so if you're Michigan, you got to be most concerned about number 8 and number 13 for Notre Dame in what has been a very potent offense to start the season, as that kick is gathered in by the Wolverines as they will look to get going. That attempt to gain some ground by Lucy Wilson ends up recovered well and taken back the other way. Look at that strong running by Michigan, trying to get it into the offensive side. And we have a Notre Dame player down. And very slow getting up behind the play. There's a pass out to the wide side and a broken tackle for Ainsley Gardner, number 13 in yellow. Pretty good run for Gardner. Trying to leave it behind her. A lot of bodies in the area. Irish have to be very careful not to commit a penalty and all of that. And how about that takedown? Ava Sorrentino. Excuse me, that was Kayla Mearshart who knocked her tackler down. And now just getting to the ground. Very lucky that Michigan not called for not going to the ground there. And now they take the ball back. A little bit of jousting for it between a couple players. And it is taken away by the Irish, but the referee will stop play.
Michigan's a physical team working the ball through the center of the pitch right now. Haven't really used the wings as much as Notre Dame does because they are the bigger, more physical team in this matchup. You'll see them trying to body the Irish while Notre Dame's going to look to work the ball out wide. They have so many fast, just electric players that love to run. This is a great team between two sides with very different profiles.
Yeah, different profiles, but the name of the game is the same. Not only are both of these teams electric offensively, but very strong defensively as well. Even in the 2 losses for Michigan. They only allowed 22 and 15 points. It's, usually you can win allowing that number of points. Sometimes, though, their offense this year has been inconsistent. They have to find a way to keep up with a potent Notre Dame attack this evening.
Well, they have 2 of the best coaches in all of college women's rugby, so both of these programs are very grateful for the administrators they have in charge that have really helped them grow the game and grow the sport on their respective campuses. Here at Notre Dame, it's actually a tried campus. There's players from all 3 schools, Notre Dame, Holy Cross, and St. Mary's. Mia Blocker, who we've talked about quite a bit, is actually at St. Mary's, which is the all-girls school across the street from Notre Dame. So it's just so many great stories all around, and 2 programs that I can just talk about all day, Charlie, because of what they've done and what they've invested in here in the women's game.
Now you're looking at the Wolverines, 2022-2023 national champions. Fighting Irish, first time ever that they are #1. And in this storied rivalry in the women's rugby game, they have never beat Michigan. We found that out just today, so thank you to all the stat keepers, as the Irish will look to change that here at Stinson Rugby Field. Nearly a tackle into touch by the Michigan defense, and they will. Flag up over on the far side. Ball stays in play. And now we get the stoppage as Notre Dame entered from the side, and they'll have to back up. 7-0 Irish lead just over 12 minutes into half #1. 11 minutes, that is, excuse me. We are 11 minutes and change into the first half. Sometimes my math lets me down in the worst times. After a pretty strong start, Chris, it seems to have settled in a bit here.
It has, and I was looking, we have some stuff going on with the scoreboard. I was trying to help out, and then I hear you're talking about math over here. I'm like, this is not a conversation I want to jump in randomly, especially after midterm week. I'm sure all of these players are happy, but this is their last exam. This is their last test right here on the pitch. I know at Notre Dame they have fall break next week. I'll actually, take a look at the Michigan academic calendar, see what they have cooking up over there in Ann Arbor.
Cooking up right now on the field, Chris, is a rolling maul, and it is very effective. So get back to me about that Michigan academic calendar.
So they had fall break October 13th to 14th, a study break.
That's
a fall
short
study break.
break.
I don't really know what that is.
I wouldn't even call that a break.
Yeah, that's
that's a weekend. We call that a weekend here at Notre Dame. Another penalty against the Irish defense. Tap and go for Gardner, who makes a cut to her left. Excuse me, that's run forward by Avery Haynes, number 15. And now some more powerful running. See if the Wolverines can tie this game. Look at this run, all the way to the try line, just short. As Michigan knocks on the doorstep. And they are not able to down it. Excellent defense from Notre Dame prevents the try and keeps the Wolverines off the board.
That's a great bit of defense from Notre Dame, just staying disciplined defensively throughout. Weren't giving up on the play, but you also got to give a lot of credit to Michigan. What they've been able to do, the possession they have been able to have. I feel like the ball has been in Michigan's offensive half of the field for quite a while now, and it's just because of this physical brand of rugby that they're playing. It's slowing down Notre Dame's offense. They're wearing and tearing all of these Irish players, and I'm sure that they'll be, again, in the 5-meter zone very, very soon.
Irish kick it away, trying to pin Michigan as deep as possible. After surviving one scare, doesn't get much easier for them. They'll have to make another defensive stand. As you mentioned it, Chris, right back on the attack for the Wolverines, who have certainly had the time of possession advantage through the first 14 minutes of play. 7-0 Notre Dame leads, however, on a try by Mia Blocker.
Just look how they're playing, though. Notre Dame will try to play around you. Michigan tries to play through you, and there's a big difference between those styles of rugby.
There's a strong tackle. Blocker knocked down the ball carrier, Haynes. Now a push forward for John Vandervoort out of Dubai. Number 4 in yellow. She's going to be tough to tackle. And another strong run. Damone Payne driven back by a couple blue sweaters. Oh, look at that hit. A takedown tackle for Wilson. Now a breakthrough, line break for Michigan. Nice play to save the try temporarily, but the Wolverines back in business. A lot of intensity down on the field. I have to say, Chris, it's been a pretty clean game for both these teams. Only a few penalties aside. Good flow to this one. That ball's loose for a second. Michigan will pick it back up. Some good flank defense for Notre Dame. For the moment, now we get a stoppage. Michigan player down, but she'll get back up. No worse for wear.
Going back to an earlier point I had about Michigan really controlling the ball right now. Notre Dame has not had the ball past midfield in over 7 minutes.
And we've only played just over 15 minutes. So for more than half of this game, Notre Dame has had nothing going.
And there's the math again, Charlie. You just can't stop with all this math.
I mean, 50%?
I'm just...
7 minutes? Hardest math there was 40 minus 24 minutes and 15 seconds still left on the clock. It's now ticked below 24 minutes in a 7-0 game. Try to get you that scoreboard as soon as we can. There's a nice pass. Even better tackle, though, by Blocker, is nearly breaking free. Or the Wolverines. Now they'll have to save it after a good counter ruck. Trying to get forward Zoe Simmons for the Wolverines, number 7 in yellow. Still helping the pile move. Maybe a rolling maul formation. Now they go to the ground. Payne gives it off. Got a Notre Dame player down. Michigan will now try back towards our side of the field. Simmons thinks about her options. She's inside the 5-meter line. One more pass out to the wing. Another good tackle. All the way to the far side, it's Haynes. Now Michigan back towards the middle. Not much doing for them. Trying to stay patient. They've already been stopped from a similar spot today. Now they'll lose some ground to gain some ground. Another time the ball is just not able to be downed by Gardner. In the middle, nice cutback move. Referee trying to find a good angle, and there is the try, finally. Michigan gets on the board after all that work.
Try for the Wolverines.
It's a well-deserved try for Michigan, Charlie. They've held the ball for nearly 10 minutes now consecutively, just strangling the clock. And they know that time of possession is also their best defense, because this is a Notre Dame offense. We've talked about how potent they are, the amount of points that they have scored. We've talked about Mia Blocker, 4 tries against Purdue, 5 against Michigan State. How do you defend against that? Well, you just don't give them the ball, plain and simple. Michigan holding the ball, really controlled, everything's got purpose, and finally they find their way to a try, tie this game up.
Yes, you mentioned it, Chris. You mentioned it, Chris, after the successful conversion kick. We have a 7-7 game with 21 minutes to go in the first half here on the NCR YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining in the match of the week. We're so happy to be bringing you this, our Notre Dame-based crew, on this Friday night in South Bend. The sun has officially set. The lights are on at Stinson Rugby Field. And what an atmosphere it is. And Notre Dame's defense will get the turnover, tackling the Michigan ball carrier into touch. And so after a good kick for the Irish, they're going to get the ball back and perhaps break that 10-minute drought without offensive possession.
Well, they're beat up now. They're tired, so it will be interesting to see how Notre Dame reacts here. This is a big character test. It's a nice set piece, though. It's straight from the training ground.
Yeah, well-executed line out thrown in by Annabelle Geiger for the Irish. Michigan penalty will set them back. Irish trying to go quick.
Yeah, blocker out wide, and Robin Sanders.
Nice pass in the middle, and a couple slides, and a score. Raquel Muniz Bermudez on the board. And a response for Notre Dame within instance.
For the Fighting Irish.
I said this is going to be a big character test. I'm really curious to see how Notre Dame responds. I didn't think they would in about 30 seconds time. Some great offloads. All starts with the line out and then just a quick play. It was from Lucy Wilson, the captain of this Irish team, with the assist. Delivers the decisive offload before some crafty running by Bermudez.
Now she'll try for the 7-point play. Her kick is true. And a 14-7 lead for the Irish. So all that for Michigan. And it's just down the drain within minutes, seconds even.
Yeah, that's really a punch to the gut if you're Michigan after all that you've done, all that you have worked up, just for it to be erased in the span of those 30 seconds.
And, 14-7, which is the current score, is not the same as 7-0. There's a psychological impact to getting on the board, but they're still down by just as many. They know that they're going to have to work really hard for all of their tries in this game, as evident by the first one. And they give it right back as the Irish score, and it's Raquel Muniz Bermudez, who has 9 of Notre Dame's 14 points in the game, 2 for 2 kicking and a try.
And just watching the try back, they were out of shape defensively just a tad bit. And it's that lapse of concentration, not being totally set. It's going to harm Michigan when you go up against a Notre Dame team that'll take full advantage of opportunities like those.
Again, if you're just joining us, thanks again for tuning in. Number 1, Notre Dame, 14. Number 4, Michigan, 7. Those are their ranks, and then the score of the action. We have 17.5 minutes to go in the first half here at Stinson Rugby Field in South Bend, Indiana. It was supposed to be a doubleheader this evening, Chris, but Notre Dame men's team game that was scheduled for 5 p.m. was canceled. So we're just bringing you this action tonight on the NCR YouTube channel. The match of the week between two of the best teams in their division in women's college rugby. They're in Division 1A, so the second division. Much bigger division than the top division, which is filled with a small number of elite schools.
Yeah, it's really interesting how all of it works. Michigan won, as we've talked about, in 2022 and 2023. Last year, they fell short to Northeastern in the national playoffs, 32-26. They also lost right after that to Virginia, 27-12. More recently, they've faced Virginia, lost 15-0 in their season opener.
Yeah, Virginia is number 2, by the way, in the poll, right behind Notre Dame, and just 2 spots ahead of Michigan, who again comes in at number 4 despite their 2-2 record. If you're wondering what number 3 looks like, that's going to be Iowa. So the Big Ten well represented. And here's Mia Blocker, thinks about a cutback. She's going to offload it to her teammate Robin Sanders, who thinks about it for a second. Here's Hart giving it off. Look at this strong defense for Michigan, driving Notre Dame backwards.
Michigan's leaving a lot of space defensively out wide right now for Notre Dame.
Juggle and catch for Megan Tremblay for the Irish. Tremblay has scored a try in the first 2 games of the season. Henderson has to give it off before she is taken down. She did to Ella Hall, who leaves it behind her. Through the legs of Munoz Bermudez, blocker. She's going to stiff arm her opponent, Bianca Caprio, who stays with her. Some tough running ahead. This Michigan defense standing strong right now. And maybe a burst through the line. Hall taken down. Almost looked like her ponytail was grabbed for a second there. That must
hurt. I don't want to think about that.
I do not either. Not a problem for us, but.
As a kid, I had long hair. Actually, not that long, but it's kind of like Elvis. And oh my goodness, when it got tugged, Charlie, that hurt.
I mean, I feel like it doesn't matter how long your hair is when it's
whenever
pulled.
it gets tugged, it gets hurt.
Yeah, it's not
but
a
I feel like with more hair, there equals more pain.
Certainly, and just not even that, but the ponytail's like far away from your scalp, so it's more force.
Ugh.
Isn't that how physics works? I don't know. I'm giving you
Yes,
math and
it
physics
does.
questions
Yes.
now. We got some yes?
Okay.
Yes.
It's good to know.
Oh, we got our scoreboard back as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for everyone who helped out with that on the, again, technical difficulty to start tonight, but it is in sync and it is up to date. 14-7 Notre Dame leads in this top 5 matchup on a Friday night. Henderson drops it. Off the scrum. They're going to do it again. This time, though, it'll be a Michigan scrum. So the players will reacclimate themselves in the huddle formation. I think, Chris, we're seeing what we expected tonight. You knew going into this game that the 83-0 that Michigan put up on Michigan State and 75-12 that Notre Dame put up against Purdue, those type of offensive performances and that type of spread was just not going to happen tonight, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
No, it's really just not feasible when it's 1v4. I've loved what I've seen out of both sides. I've said it time and time again, but these are two very different teams. Michigan, kind of brute force, right? They're just trying to push this Notre Dame team around right now, trying to gain a few meters, want to push forward and press the Notre Dame attack. Meanwhile, the Irish, they're really shifty, and they just dance around these Michigan defenders. It's been a joy to watch both sides so far battle it out. Real fun game.
Certainly has, and we've seen throughout the half, Chris, the teams kind of go back and forth asserting their style of play. Early it was Notre Dame, the early try. Michigan dominated the middle portion of this half, but since the last Notre Dame try after a good tackle into touch set up a successful line out, the Irish have been in control of this game, although almost turn it over there. Well done by Notre Dame to get the ball to the ground. Freshly into the game for the Irish, Bridget Ryan, number 21, came in for one of the injured Notre Dame players. Only substitution for either side as of yet. It's a busy weekend on campus, Chris. You've got this game, of course, Notre Dame USC football tomorrow. Volleyball plays at home twice. Men's soccer senior night tonight. Notre Dame hockey opening up this weekend as well with 2 home games. So if you're here on campus and you're not at a sporting event, what are you doing?
I really don't know, especially if you're not at tonight women's rugby being a huge event right now on campus, and then tomorrow with football, 7:30. I'll be on the call for WVFI Sports Radio, voice of the Fighting Irish, alongside Leo Romano, Notre Dame versus USC. That's going to be a great time, but tell you what, I've been so excited for this game. We don't get to announce the Notre Dame women's rugby team. We did in Boyd's, Maryland, for the Sevens tournament in the spring, and they were just so great to watch. Mia Blocker is one of the best players in the country. We saw that against Oregon. We were talking about that before the show today. She had a walk-off against the Ducks. And when we were there, we were just thinking, we want to see this team more. We want to announce them more. And to have an opportunity to do so tonight is so great, Charlie.
Yeah, not only an opportunity, but an opportunity to do it in the match of the
Yes.
week. So happy to be bringing you this evening's game. Saw Notre Dame score after tackling the Michigan Michigan players. That's us. We're not getting tackled, thank gosh. The Michigan offensive player tackled into touch. Notre Dame scores a try. Right there, Michigan tackles Notre Dame's ball carrier into touch. Now, albeit it further away from the try zone, but let's see if the Wolverines can build off that momentum and try to find the tying try. And what we've seen so far, if this first half is any indication for how the rest of this game is going to play out, the final 9 minutes and change, and then the whole second half, Michigan is going to have to work very hard for their tries. The Notre Dame defense just does not give up line breaks easily.
Yeah, I've seen some great tackles just a second ago from Lucy Wilson. She's the captain of this team. Really smart defensively. Robin Sanders made a nice play containing the Michigan defense before blocker came in to assist. Overall, just really structured, and comes down to coaching.
Yeah, two great coaches leading their respective teams. For the Irish, Ricardo Ramirez, and for the Wolverines, multi-time national champions Jamie Freck and Heather Schmidt, getting it done for the maize and blue. Or is it blue and maize? I think it's maize and blue. They prefer that order.
Yeah, I believe so.
Sounds right. Under 9 minutes in half number one. And the Notre Dame players getting the fans involved all of a sudden.
Yeah, Isabel Henderson hyping up the crowd.
Yeah,
now
she's
she's
walking
doing
a
a little
little-
bit of a dance.
Yeah. How about that?
It worked. This crowd just made so much noise. And this
It is
makeshift leprechaun as well getting involved.
Now the referee will stop play off the lineup, perhaps not straight. And that is the indication. So Notre Dame's going to get a scrum here, or they're going to get tap and go, excuse me, and they will do just that with Lucy Wilson. Stays on her feet. There's a good tackle as Geiger brought to the ground. See if Michigan can get a stop after turning it over. Here's blocker. So shifty. Oh, hit hard. What a tackle. That's how you defend her. And now it's turned over. Michigan playing with advantage. After the knock-on by Notre Dame landed right in the arms of one of the Wolverines. And here's Avery Haynes cutting it back. It's actually Kenzie Ennis. All the way wide. Still advantage for Michigan. How about this run? Pretty well done by Alexis Edozie. We'll have to get back to her feet.
Love that from Edozie. Lowers her center of gravity, lowers the body, bulldozes through a couple of defenders. It's some gritty rugby.
So now Michigan commits the knock-on. And their advantage had expired, so it will be Notre Dame ball. With under 7 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half, which Notre Dame has led for, let's do some more math, Chris. They scored in 2 minutes. They scored about 2 minutes after ceding the lead. So we're 37 minutes in, -4, 29 minutes or so Notre Dame has led in this game. Michigan 0 seconds leading, and yet it still feels like it's as close as can be.
Yeah, it's an interesting scenario because I think the first 25 minutes of this game, both teams were much more prone to attack, but maybe I'm lying. Look at this from Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson. A little bit of a line break there, but she leaves it, and it rolls off her fingertips. And so Michigan will take possession right back. Has a good run from Henderson, but unable to leave it behind her properly. And Michigan will take that.
So revert back to my initial point, what I wanted to say was you usually see a game that's cagey in the beginning, then it opens up. This was the opposite. I felt like it was pretty open, and then it became a bit cagier. Both teams settled into the match a little bit, especially defensively.
I think there's an argument to be made that this close contested battle favors the Wolverines. They've already played 2 games that have been rather close. 15-0. That is technically a 3-score game, but a close, low-scoring one at that. And, of course, their loss to Ohio State, 22-17. Notre Dame hasn't been in a game that's been close yet this year, and you have to wonder if that favors Michigan as we go down the stretch.
No, they haven't been battle-tested yet, but there's only one way to find out, and we will do so tonight.
Another whistle, knock on against Michigan. See what Notre Dame goes for. I assume they'll try to kick this and gain some ground, but maybe a scrum. And in fact, they're going to get into scrum formation. Cam Jackling's going to feed it through from the near side.
Michigan haven't had the ball inside Notre Dame's 22 in a while, though, Charlie. So if they do want to come back, they're going to have to find a way to gain space in this pitch much more effectively. I mean, right now they're trying to go little by little, but they need some sort of spark. It's been tough to crack open this Notre Dame defense.
Tap and go for the Irish after the penalty against the overextended Michigan defense. Blocker taken down after she looked like she might spin free. Now in the middle, it's Hart. Katie Hart, pretty good fan section right below us. And here's Henderson giving it off. Tremblay trying to use her brute force to her advantage. Gets it inside the 22. Dangerous pass, but it's gathered in by Muniz Bermudez.
Nice stiff arm.
Now Blocker, can she get the edge? One girl to beat for Mia Blocker, and she's in. She'll get to the middle and down it. Her second similar looking try, and Notre Dame extends the lead.
And try for the Fighting Irish.
Second of the game for Blocker, and both have been on that side of the field, Chris.
It's a good offload from Bermudez. She gets the ball after it bounces. It was Lucy Wilson who offloaded to her, and then a nice stiff arm, just thought real quickly, gives it to Blocker, who finds the corner one-on-one, fakes left, drops that shoulder, and as soon as you drop, and as soon as you get that defender to bite a little, that's when you go, you explode out of there. Mia Blocker does exactly that. That's the soccer experience and her track background as well, coming to help her out. Such a talented athlete.
Are there any sports she didn't play?
I believe these are the three. So she played soccer and track growing up, and then about 7th or 8th grade, found rugby, and ever since then, she has not looked back, has become one of the best players in the country.
Yeah, and by the way, Chris, she's only a sophomore, so she's going to be back for a couple more years.
Scary to think about if you're any team that has to face her on a consistent basis.
Kick is no good, so it remains 19-7 Irish with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. So Mia Blocker, 4th straight game this season with multiple tries.
Yeah, and the final point about that try, talked about the offloads, right? Wilson to Bermudez, Bermudez to Blocker. But as a whole, Notre Dame moved the ball from the middle of the pitch all the way out wide so quickly. And although they did have one mishap with the offload to Bermudez, she made it work somehow. I haven't seen Michigan do that, and they don't really have an answer for Notre Dame when Notre Dame does move the ball quickly. So they have to have an idea of where they're going to move the ball before they get it, right? It's like a game of chess. You got to know your next move. You have to be 2 steps ahead, check your shoulder, see what your surroundings are. Notre Dame have done that just to a higher level so far than Michigan.
Yeah, and I think one thing also, Chris, to build off of what you just said that plays factor is this Notre Dame offense is very disciplined. They don't take many offensive penalties. They don't turn it over. Okay, announcer's jinx. But usually they don't commit penalties. They are, of course, susceptible to knock-ons such as that one. But generally speaking, you don't see much not rolling away. You don't see much not releasing. Yeah, they play clean, and they make it tough on Michigan or any of their opponents to take the ball away from them.
That's 100% accurate, Charlie. I also thought you didn't believe in the announcer's jinx. So
I don't, but sometimes it's if there's at least one viewer out there who does, they're going to be very mad at me. Or Michigan fan very pleased.
Yeah, that is true.
We have a good Michigan fan base in the comments section, that's for sure. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this evening in support of these two teams. How about that cutback from Ennis? Still going down near the 22. Could we see Michigan get on the board in the final seconds? That might help. Tap and go now. And it's given off by Vandervoorde. It's going to help push the pile. 12 seconds on the clock. Of course, half won't end until the first dead ball. So it's a matter of stop or score right now. Wolverines trying to get it back to within a one-score game. That is not going to help. An untimely knock-on, and the referee will blow his halftime whistle. So Notre Dame survives a late push, and they will take a 19-7 lead into the first half, or the second half, I should say. That was all for the first half. Stay with us for the halftime report. We are going to show a few messages from our sponsors, and then we'll have a segment that my partner Chris Daly has so graciously pre-recorded, and then we'll have announcer for a special cause at the tail end of halftime. Stay with us on the NCR YouTube channel.
Consistency on three. 1, 3.
In a sport of power and precision, you need a powerful and precise camera. Analyze your game. Build your team. Grow together.
Ready? Up.
VO captures moments. A powerful camera for a powerful sport.
Rugby! What's up, y'all? Chris Daly from the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel here with the first ever episode of the Halftime Speech, where I give you facts, opinions, and more about the world of college rugby. Today, I'm breaking down my top 5 venues in the nation. So let's dig in, starting with number 5, St. Mary's Stadium. Home to the Gales soccer and rugby teams, St. Mary's Stadium sits beneath the beautiful Moraga Hills, and it seats 5,500 fans, one of the largest in college rugby. The natural grass surface is gorgeous, and the whole setting feels tucked into nature, super quaint, scenic, and always buzzes with energy on game day. It's everything you want in a college atmosphere, as is my number 4 venue, Stinson Rugby Field of Notre Dame. If you thought Stinson wasn't going to make the list, well, think again. My criteria for this list was largely based on good seating, natural beauty, playing surface, atmosphere, and overall amenities. Stinson, it checks every single box on that list. The bleachers provide 500 comfortable positions of seating, and they're always packed to the brim, so you see a lot of people standing along the fence, and you also can't beat a sunset view of the Golden Dome. And to cap it off, Stinson is one of the only World Rugby sanctioned surfaces in the United States. And the stadium also provides great food thanks to June Buggy's taco truck. Can't forget that.
Dedicated in 2013, Stinson has earned its rightful place as the number 4 venue. One spot ahead of Stinson Rugby Field is Anderson Rugby Complex of Army West Point. How can you not be romantic about college rugby after seeing this place? Sitting alongside the Hudson River, Anderson Rugby Complex is state of the art. The 2-story, 13,650 square foot facility includes locker rooms, showers, a weight room, offices, and an 1,800 square foot observation deck overlooking the field. Portable stands are brought in for big games, and the whole setup is just as polished as any collegiate rugby venue out there. What I love the most, though, is the fact that young men and women who will serve this great country get to call this place home. Well-deserved is an understatement. The setting, the tradition, and the sheer attention to detail make this place special. But with that, we'll fly across the country for the number 2 venue, and that is Cal Berkeley's Witter Field, home to the most successful collegiate program in the country with 33 national titles. Witter Field was a $2 million project in 1995. With natural beauty galore thanks to the surrounding trees and views of the California mountains, Witter Field is another work of art. I love this venue's synthetic turf. Real great fun fact here. Installed in 2019, it uses environmentally friendly materials. Instead of rubber, the turf field is comprised of 90% coconut and 10% naturally derived plant-based matter, according to the Cal website. In terms of amenities, Cal outdoes itself. The Doc Hudson Memorial Fieldhouse neighbors the stadium, and all on top of this is an amazing fan base. Creates for what I have ranked as the second best venue in the nation. And finally, for the number 1 venue, it's none other than Brophy Field of Dartmouth. I could stare at the Corey Ford Rugby Clubhouse at Brophy Field all day long. It really looks like it belongs on Augusta National. I can just imagine Jim Nance saying, "Hello, friends," from the clubhouse. I love this classy type of architecture. It has its old school, but it's got so many great modern amenities. They're currently renovating the clubhouse right now as well. Some great things are going on over at Brophy Field. The clubhouse itself is over 6,000 square feet, provides the ability for fans to watch the match from the bird's eye view, and the venue is so cozy. Surrounded by beautiful trees. You can tell I love trees. Dartmouth wisely utilizes its landscape for natural seating. Most fans will sit on the hill with plenty of others at the clubhouse. Brophy Field and the clubhouse scream everything that's great about college rugby. People who care are investing in it, but they're also keeping this sense of character that makes this sport so amazing. So for that reason, Brophy Field and the Corey Ford Rugby Clubhouse take the cake as my number 1 venue. That's all for me. Thanks so much for watching the first ever episode of the Halftime Speech. Chris Daly from Notre Dame Studios and the Notre Dame Rugby YouTube channel signing off for now. I'll see you in the second half.
Halftime still underway here in South Bend, Indiana. 19-7 Notre Dame leads in a big night on campus, especially for the women's rugby team. It's a special occasion as the two rivals face off under the dome, watching, lit up by the moonlight, as it is every night here on this beautiful campus. Tonight, the Notre Dame women's rugby team is playing for a very special cause. They are raising money for a nonprofit by the name of Hello Gorgeous. This nonprofit organization provides free makeovers and support to women battling cancer and is a very noble cause. So please scan the QR code on your screen if you feel so obliged or motivated to donate and help this amazing cause. Let's make a difference together, Irish fans. And we are back. Second half, Notre Dame, Michigan, women's rugby. Number 1, Fighting Irish, 19. Number 4, Wolverines, 7. And thanks for sticking with us through halftime. Again, you can go to the Notre Dame Rugby either Instagram or Facebook account to find that QR code and learn more about the Hello Gorgeous initiative that Notre Dame is putting on tonight. And thanks to everyone who took time out of their evening to donate. As we get started in the second half, Chris, I hear that you would like to put a little wager on the table for us.
Yeah, Charlie. So I would love for one of us to donate as well and help out. I feel like this, I mean, it's just such an amazing cause, and we're up here in the booth working right now. So I want to challenge you to something. Whoever loses this challenge will donate $10. So it's a great thing to lose, because if you lose, you're supporting a good cause.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's a win-win. That's what the word is. So the trivia question I have for you, and whoever gets it right is, of course, the winner.
And let's just clarify, this trivia question comes from the truck. This was not your trivia question. So this is a fair game.
Comes from our producer, Walter Hoffman. Also, if there's a big play, we're going to stop to look at this big play, as we have one right now. But Notre Dame and Michigan in football have played 44 games since 1887. That was their first matchup. All but one of those games were played on one of the 2 campuses. Where was that one neutral site game played? And bonus points from Walter if we get the year correct as well.
So we got to get location and year.
I am saying Wrigley Field. That's my best guess. I was thinking the Polo Grounds maybe. I'm going to say Wrigley Field, and my guess will be, let me go with 1924. That's definitely wrong.
That is, I can tell you for sure that is wrong, because 1924 is the year Notre Dame won their first national championship. They did not play Michigan that year.
Oh, they didn't.
They did not.
So there's the extent.
So I have a chance here, the year, which will be a pure guess, by the way. I'm going to go, it's got to be more recent, I think. I'm going to go 1962 for no reason. And my location will be, I can't do the Polo Grounds because you mentioned it.
You could do that.
I think I will, because I don't know. I mean, Michigan, Notre Dame, where else would they play? Let me go Soldier Field, 1962. All right, Walter, what do you got?
Toledo, Ohio, October 18th, 1902. Michigan won 23-0. Walter, what is that question? What is that answer? Toledo, Ohio.
1902.
Okay.
Do you know, Walter, that I was not born in 1902? Did you know that?
Charlie, before we get back to this game real quickly, here is what I'll do. I will donate $10 if you don't get this right. If you do get it right, or no, I don't know what I'm saying here.
Are you going to quiz me right now?
I'm going to quiz you.
'Kay.
Okay? And we'll see if you get it right. If you get it right, I have to donate $10.
Okay.
Yeah.
This could be a heinous question.
Notre Dame's first ever opponent at Notre Dame Stadium. And oh my goodness, here we go.
Here goes Henderson. Nice cut to the right. And Isabel Henderson getting to the try line. She scores. A long run for Henderson. And that brings the crowd to their feet at Stinson.
Well, there's a reason why she's an All-American. Isabel Henderson was on the high-performance team, scored 3 tries versus Purdue, another 3 versus Michigan State, part of the U.S. U23 setup. So explosive. Line break for the Irish. That's what they had all throughout the first half. We see it once again. Big-time play from Notre Dame.
Big-time play indeed for Henderson, who was taken care of by the Michigan defense in the first half largely. Did do a good job hyping up the crowd, but the best way to hype up the crowd, Chris, is to put 5 points on the board.
Oh, it's 100% true. I almost forgot about that, too. Henderson came over right to the near side of the stands and lifted her arms. Crowd exploded.
Conversion kick fades right. So Bermudez 2 for 4 on the day, but still a 24-7 lead for the Fighting Irish. 17 unanswered points since Michigan tied this game with about 22 minutes to play in the first half. And now both halves, Chris, Notre Dame has started with one of their star players getting a try within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they've gotten off to hot starts. And that's huge because now Michigan, who plays a very slow brand of rugby, has only 34 minutes, and they are down by multiple possessions. Time is not their friend right now. So Michigan's going to have to find a way to score and score quickly because they haven't been able to do that yet.
And that's going to help. Knock on against Tremblay will set the Wolverines up at about the 22-meter line.
And Charlie, here's the question real quick. Notre Dame's first ever opponent in Notre Dame Stadium was who?
That's a great question. I can tell you the year.
1930.
Yep. Wabash.
No, it was SMU.
How
But you know
would I
what?
possibly
for
get
that? Let's do that. We'll split $5
$5
both,
I
5
like
and
it.
5. We'll donate after the show. We encourage you all to donate. You can also look at halftime if you want to scroll back on the YouTube stream or go to the Notre Dame Rugby social media channels.
Yeah, I think our performance during the Walters trivia question was bad enough that we should just split the 5.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that because that was, I mean, you're asking me a question from 1930. You got mad that Walter asked you one from 1902. I mean, oy vey. 24-7 Notre Dame leads Michigan, needing to get back into this one. You have to think that if they don't get the next try, it's not, well, of course, if they don't get the next try, it's pretty unlikely, but they have to get a try, and it has to be pretty soon. Tougher, easier said than done. That's how the saying goes. Especially against a Notre Dame offense that has found their groove controlling the ball. Nice little run for Sanders before she loses it on a very good tackle by the Wolverines. Now they will bulldoze forward into a slew of bodies.
Sanders is down, and she's hurt.
Yeah, Sanders still not to her feet for Notre Dame. Michigan will kick it, trying to get ground. It's going to stay in bounds. I don't think any of the players expected that. Could be trouble here. Notre Dame will have to backtrack very quickly. And Desharia Williams will get to it. And she'll down it in her own try zone for a try line out. As Sanders is going to try to shake it off behind the play.
Puts a thumbs up. It appears to be something with her ankle. We'll monitor that situation as this game moves along. Again, Williams also down in the try zone.
A couple injuries. Robin Sanders, the senior wing out of Chicago, Illinois. This is senior night for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. All their seniors were honored during halftime.
You want to talk about a statement win this could be for Notre Dame. The number 2 team in the country is Virginia. We've talked about this in the first half. Virginia beat Michigan to start the season 15-0. They only put 15 up against the Wolverines. Notre Dame, with half an hour still to play, has already put up 24. Offensively, the Irish are far and away the most formidable unit in the country right now.
Certainly in their division. Of course, you don't know how they'd stack up in the top division.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Again, the top
D1
division,
AA.
just generally smaller in terms of size. We were very thankful to NCR, not only for hosting us tonight on their YouTube channel, but also for providing rankings for both men's and women's, all the divisions. And the women's top division only gets a top 5.
Yeah.
Just indicative of how few teams are in that top division. This division, where both these teams are, gets a whole top 20, as do all the other divisions on the women's and men's sides. Of course, both Michigan and Notre Dame men's rugby ranked. Irish, despite losing last week, are up to number 9. I want to say Michigan's somewhere in that 12 to 14 range. They pulled off a big upset to the Michigan men's rugby team. They took down, I believe it was Ohio State. It was. They took down Ohio State, which was not a result we were expecting to see, Chris, starting the season.
No, that was a real shocking result based off of all the preseason rankings I had read.
Yeah, but if you think this is a rivalry, you should see a Michigan-Ohio State game in any sport. And of course, they play in more sports because they're in the same conference in every sport.
If you think that's a rivalry, you should see Notre Dame versus USC.
Well, USC is also in the Big Ten now.
Yeah, that's true. And that rivalry.
Let's get USC women's rugby out here. No, just a Big Ten matchup.
You know, California schools are notoriously good at rugby.
This is true.
UCLA.
We're at Oregon here, so surely we can get USC.
That was some trip the Ducks went on to come out here to play.
That was last spring. .30 minutes and 20 seconds to go in half number 2. 24-7 lead for the Fighting Irish, 17 straight points since about the midway point of the first half, when at that point it was a 7-7 game. Here's Mearshart for the Wolverines, trying to help their cause and getting back into this one.
Sanders is still in pain, and looks like her teammate, Megan Tremblay, is pointing to the dugout saying, please check on her. But the Irish do have 2 subs, as well as Michigan waiting at the halfway line right now.
And we get a stoppage, but Michigan will go quickly on a tap and go. Oh, they'll have to be brought back. Trying to go quickly was Vandervoort. Notre Dame backed up inside their own 5-meter line. See what Michigan, there's the tap and go. Kind of in a bunch formation, if you will. Not really much spread in that Michigan offense. Vandervoort again will go to the turf. Chris, how lucky we get to watch this game at the 4th best college rugby stadium in the country.
well, I love it when we get more tries as well, Charlie.
Yeah, how about that score? Out wide. And Michigan is right back in it. They score their 2nd try of the evening. And they're back to within 2 scores. And so just what the doctor ordered for the maize and blue, as their rather moderate fan section able to cheer for just a bit. It's pretty Notre Dame dominated fan section, but that time the Wolverines get the try, cut the deficit to 12.
Yeah, Mackenzie Ennis with the score for Michigan. That's exactly what they needed at this time. They still have plenty of clock left to claw their way back into this match. But now they need to play tight defensively, because we've seen Notre Dame record several big line breaks that have totally changed the complexity of this one.
And Gardner from basically no angle. Tough chance, no good. 24-12, so now the try scores in the game for the Wolverines. Ennis and Max Scott, who got the first one, the graduate student who had originally gotten the Wolverines on the board in the first half, and at that point had tied the game. So now a 24-12 score with less than half of the second half remaining. Notre Dame in no rush. Robin Sanders has stayed in the game, Chris, despite the substitutions. So the coaching staff hoping that she can hang tough. Of course, an impact player.
Also a senior on senior night, which may play a small factor.
That's a great shout. Certainly, I think more than a small factor. And Notre Dame takes it away. Stripped by Hart.
Notre Dame plays best when they move the ball fast, Charlie. It's what they need to do here to respond after Michigan gained some confidence.
Yeah, last time Michigan scored, Notre Dame came right back. See if they have that in them again. As Bermudez out wide. Blocker juggles but gathers. Every time she has it, she is swarmed. No exception there. In the middle, Geiger. Bodies all over the place. Very patient defense right now for Michigan. Tremblay spun around, finally brought down. Here's Henderson. Quick pass, and maybe breaking through. Hart. Tackle from behind. Does a good job to keep possession. Ball's dropped. That's going to be a knock-on against the Irish. And IB Malinog just into the game. Couldn't come down with that pass. Looked like it was a little bit behind her. And that will turn it over. So a decent possession for Notre Dame, but no points to show for it.
And now it's about pressing Michigan inside their own 22. How can you make them uncomfortable right here? Gotta be quick to the ball.
Michigan dugout has been pretty loud tonight, Chris. Just made a chant there, trying to get their girls to get fired up, believe in this comeback effort. And we'll do it again off the scrum. Time continues to tick. It's not quite a factor yet, with still over half the half to go. But at some point, it will become a factor, as it always does. Once again, Bianca Caprio, the graduate student from New Jersey, will feed it through the scrum for the Wolverines.
See,
All
from
the way.
Manalapan, not too far from where I grew up.
And a good job by the Irish defense to tackle the ball carrier into touch. How far?
About 20, 25 minutes, which is close enough to play them in high school soccer and, you know, travel soccer growing up.
So I'm going to one-up you here for a second.
Yeah, please do.
For the Wolverines, they have a girl, Sienna Crandall, wearing number 16 tonight, who's from Larchmont, New York. That is 2 towns away from me, about 10-minute drive at most down Boston Post Road. And here's Sanders trying to limp her way forward. Does well to leave it behind her. And here is Muniz Bermudez, but she's into touch, almost. Lucky that she's into touch, as she nearly threw it right into the hands of Chloe Stacy, number 10 in yellow, who would have had a break.
Yeah, that's a great shout, Charlie. Michigan had plenty of room to run.
.12-point game, 23 minutes and a half to go in regulation time. Spinning through is Gardner. Now CJ Ramatsky leaves it behind her. A lot of bodies all over the place. I think Notre Dame has the ball. No, they commit the penalty. And trying to go quickly, but shut down is Caprio. So Michigan will have to reset, and they will now try to kick it for field position. I don't know if that one's going to get into touch. It bounces and then does. So I believe it'll be Notre Dame's ball here on a line out, or a scrum perhaps. It'll be Michigan still, so a pretty good kick. See if the Wolverines can get it to within 1 score.
Well, they've been sloppy on lineouts. They need a clean one here. It could be real important.
It's a great opportunity, and it's taken away by Notre Dame. Jackling came down with it, so the Irish will have to try to go the length of the pitch. Knock on against against Michigan, excuse me, is whistled.
Sanders still limping quite a bit.
Yeah,
Give
she
her
did
a lot
not
of
look
credit
good.
for toughing through this, but yeah, it looks like she's in some serious pain with the ankle.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it, Chris. The senior night, obviously you want to finish out the game, but she's clearly favoring, that is number 11 in blue, Robin Sanders, one of her legs. She's going to keep toughing it out, though, in respect to her, as Blocker is going to burst through. Mia Blocker is on to the final line of defense. Blocker breaks 1 tackle. She's slowed up, still on her feet. 1 more, and she's brought down on a great pursuit by Ramatsky. Irish still buzzing. Here's a pass to Hart, and Hart scores.
Try for the Fighting Irish.
You think SportsCenter's watching right now, Charlie? Because you could put that on the top 10. Oh my goodness. Just a magnificent piece of rugby all around from Notre Dame and Mia Blocker. There's a reason why we've highlighted her. She is the best player in the country. Electric can make something out of nothing, does it once again. Notre Dame extends their lead. I know there's still 20 left, but it almost feels like a cherry on top.
Be careful.
We have seen crazier things here at Stinson, especially this season. But just with the way the momentum of the game is going right now, that's a huge boost for Notre Dame.
And the conversion kick is through for Munoz Bermudez, and that will extend the Notre Dame lead to 31-12. It's the most points the Wolverines have allowed this season.
And the fake leprechaun or the real leprechaun, I don't know how to describe him, but he's hyping up the crowd.
Last time Notre Dame Rugby was on the NCR YouTube, the men's team, the real leprechaun was in attendance, and he was the star of the show. Completely stole the luster from our performance, and we still got a similar situation going on. Gentleman looks very Irish. Ginger hair.
He does. I mean, he fits the mold for the leprechaun.
Green
quite
suit.
nicely.
Loud. Obnoxious Notre Dame fan. Trying to get the crowd hype. And a stoppage. Notre Dame's going to have to back up. See if Michigan can put together a quick response. Moving ahead is Megan Backer. And now some tough running for Mearshart. Michigan has any chance in this game. They're going to have to get one soon. Here go to the wing. Gardner out there. The referee running all the way back to the near side. As it appears, yes, Notre Dame will have to back up. Michigan had been playing with some advantage. And so a tap and go coming for Caprio. Oh, actually, she's going to opt for the scrum. Interesting choice. Of course, that's a little bit more time-consuming, but I imagine
Opens
Michigan
up space out wide for Michigan to attack. So I'm thinking maybe that's their reasoning behind it. Try to create some sort of overload.
Let's go Irish fan chant briefly from the crowd, but most little tense. Always nice when you can be winning a game of rugby by 19. Not so nice when your opponent's got it inside your 22. Another penalty against the Notre Dame defense. Tap and go, Caprio. Challenges her opponent back, Hall one-on-one. Gets it down near the 5. Ball's juggled around. Somehow not a knock-on. I believe it went off the foot of one of the Michigan players. There's a good pass. Maybe one more. There it is. And another one for Michigan. Working towards the far side of the field. We've seen Mia Blocker score twice over here in the first half. Michigan hoping to dip into her magic potion. And they might just do it. Rumbling down and scoring for the Wolverines. And they're right back in it. An important try gets Michigan to 17 points.
Try for the Wolverines.
And how about that running for Kayla Mearshart?
Well, it's really important because they have 16 minutes left in this game, down by 3 scores. Now they fight their way back into it, give themselves a bit of a chance. I like what Michigan were able to do there, just move the ball. Tons of different players touching it. Just a minute ago, they had it all the way on the far side, or the near side for us, of the pitch, right by the 5-meter line. And move it from the left side of the field all the way to the right. Shifts to Notre Dame's defense, able to create some space. They're able to score.
Gardner's conversion kick online, but not enough leg. So it'll stay 31-17, somewhat relevant, as it is now technically a 2-score game, but Michigan would need 2 scores and successful conversions to bring this back to a tie. Theoretically, 3 tries would put them in front no matter what. Not much time left, though, as we tick down towards the final 15 minutes. Notre Dame very content to meander out to their position and kick it away, which they will do now. Gathered in by Damone Payne. And she's going to kickstart this Michigan attack as they think about the wing. And Kenzie Ennis, one of the try scorers tonight for the Maize and Blue. Now back the other way. Quick pass to Payne. And it will be kicked away by Stacy. Just getting it out of trouble. And Blocker will pick it up off the turf. Mia Blocker knifing her way. Trying to split the D. Mia hat-trick. Irish score again.
Try for the Fighting Irish.
I just watched this playback. 9 players had the chance to take down Mia Blocker. 0 were able to do so. Even the ref is smiling. That's how you know you're seriously talented. Mia Blocker, take a bow, and maybe 2 clips now on SportsCenter, Charlie, because back-to-back big-time plays from Blocker. Oh my, that is just
That's as
marvelous
good as it
to
gets.
watch. Marvelous to watch. You know, as a journalist, we're supposed to describe in words. It's kind of the point of the gig, right, Charlie?
That is
Sometimes
correct.
things are indescribable, though. You know, the types of talents that you see. How can you describe something like that?
I think you got to pull out some
Surreal.
Grantland Rice-esque vocabulary. Are you familiar with that name?
Who?
Grantland Rice.
Grantland Rice. I don't think I've taken that many journalism classes
So
yet. to
Grantland
know
Rice
about.
was the writer who wrote the Against a Blue-Gray October Sky, the
Oh,
Four
sure.
Horsemen wrote
Wrote
again.
Yeah. Outlined against the blue-gray October sky. Well,
That was his line, and he was known for his perhaps exaggerated, certainly hyperbolic descriptions of sports. He's, of course, a Hall of Fame writer, so perhaps a name you should know.
yeah. Really throwing me under the bus here.
And I don't think you're going to need to be hyperbolic to talk about Mia Blocker tonight. And how about a little run here for Henderson? Henderson shakes off a hit. And she's going to finally get wrapped up, but not before giving it off to Wilson. Wilson, one more. And now she has it back. Lucy Wilson down inside the 5. Notre Dame looking to score again. And Henderson dives towards the line. Not quite. Good tackle for Michigan. Tap and go. Wilson trying to go quick, and she's in for the score.
Try for the Fighting Irish.
And Notre Dame is pouring it on in the second half. They take a 41-17 lead.
And Michigan has a player down right now. I know I said earlier that's the cherry on top, but I think we can say it officially now. That is the cherry on top. Lucy Wilson's had a great day defensively. I love the way she's been able to tackle. Just got some sharp form. You can see why she is considered the field captain for this Notre Dame team. Commands leadership amongst the squad. puts her name on the try sheet for today.
Wilson, who scored 2 tries in the season opener, the big win against Purdue, gets on the board here tonight. The sophomore out of Wisconsin, who's been a playmaker all throughout the night, takes it on the tap and go and scores for the Fighting Irish as they extend their lead. And you mentioned it, Chris. You always hate to see this. One of the Michigan players looks like she is in serious pain. Couldn't quite tell who it was that went down in yellow, but either way, you, of course, don't want to see that no matter what.
Yeah, it's always something that you just hate to see, as you just mentioned, Charlie. And as for this game itself, I would be curious to see the time of possession, because I feel like it's been pretty even for the most part. Michigan's had the ball a good bit, yet Notre Dame's up 41-17 because they've had some quick possessions.
Yeah, it helps when you've got the kind of speed and running, open field running ability that Mia Blocker and Isabel Henderson have, among others, but those two especially. Henderson, after a slow first half, has really turned it up. So the clock was stopped for the injury with 10:49 left.
And just looking around campus right now here at the University of Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish hockey team up 2-0 against St. Lawrence. They beat St. Lawrence 8-2 last night. I actually saw you there, Charlie. It was nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Meanwhile, Notre Dame's up 2-1 on Pitt in volleyball. Wow, that is an upset and a half.
Well, it's not over yet.
Not over yet. And then meanwhile, men's soccer.
Henderson just won't go down. Sorry to cut you off, but
you're good.
when she has the ball, you got to be aware. And Henderson's still on her feet. Finally wrestled to the turf. Notre Dame can smell blood now. Out wide, Blocker tackled, gets it off. And Michigan will take it away and just kick it to relieve the pressure temporarily, but go on. By the way, for those who are
0-0.
0-0.
Yeah. Not breaking news that you were cutting me off of. Just 0-0 with about a minute left in the first half.
Didn't mean to cut you off anyway, but I'd like to point out that's men's soccer that's 0-0.
Yeah.
I just said women's soccer.
I said men's.
My apologies.
No, you're good.
Anyway, volleyball. Notre Dame up 2-1 on Pitt. Pitt is the number 6 team in the country. That was not supposed to be a close one.
Both of the first 2 sets were 27-25.
In favor of Notre Dame?
Yep.
Even set 3 was pretty close.
25-21, wow.
So we'll see how that.
Could be an upset.
Again, it's a busy night of sports on the Notre Dame campus.
And tons of ranked teams as well. This is a 1v4 matchup. Pitt is ranked. And then in men's soccer, Notre Dame has been ranked at times, but NC State for a while was the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, they're now number 6. As if that stinks.
No, not at all.
Irish looking to add on. Out wide, just into the game, Helen Myler will cut it back and go down on a good tackle.
And for all the Michigan fans right now, they're up 5-2 on Robert Morris in hockey. Meanwhile, Michigan soccer beat UCLA, men's soccer that is, 3-0 today.
Don't you love Stat Broadcast?
No, it's a great website.
It's got to be one of the best websites on the internet. I wish we had Stat Broadcast for this production.
It's second to Rugby Hawk. Rugby Hawk of last season, not this season.
Are you ever going to not plug Rugby Hawk in a broadcast?
It's actually third. Second to Rugby Hawk. And well, I don't know how to phrase this, but Rugby Hawk's 1, and then Golf Rugby Report is number 2.
2 great sites that we love to use for our pregame research. We'd like to give a shout out, by the way, to both the Notre Dame and Michigan women's rugby social media pages for keeping up with their teams. Not much public information available online, but we're so thankful to them for providing scores and results, as well as starting lineups for tonight. Coaches also emailed us rosters on the spreadsheet, which we have been using this evening. So if we have misidentified your daughter or niece, then do not blame us.
Okay, last website to shout out.
Disclaimer.
National Collegiate Rugby. Always providing some great details about all of these showdowns.
Now we love that what they're doing for the growth of the game, hosting these matches of the night. About 7 minutes to go in a 41-17 game. Notre Dame has been dominant in this second half. Hat trick for Mia Blocker. But she has been well supported throughout the night by her teammates. The Irish have put up 5 tries in the game. Is that right? 6 tries? I think it's more. Might be 7 tries and 3 kicks. That'll get you to 41. So just a great all-around offensive performance for the Fighting Irish. They aren't going to get to 70 for the 3rd time this season. Probably aren't going to get to 60 or even 50, but they left no doubt why they are the #1 team in their division tonight.
None whatsoever. And a certain player by the name of Mia Blocker has left no doubt as to why she's the #1 player in D1 AA.
Enter the final 6 minutes of play. Thanks again for joining us on the NCR Rugby channel tonight for this matchup of the week. So happy to be bringing you the second matchup of the week featuring Notre Dame. First one being the men's team when they took down Texas A&M when we had the NCR pregame show here. That was pretty cool.
That was special.
And then tonight, no pregame show, but still an electric match between two great opponents, and it's just been Notre Dame's more explosive offense, I would say, Chris, and you can disagree, but I feel like that's been the difference tonight.
I'm not going to disagree with that. Otherwise, I'd be watching the wrong game. Funny, too, Michigan beat Notre Dame 21-14 last year. Michigan did lose 2 All-Americans that I've alluded to earlier. Man, Notre Dame also was a young team. Mia Blocker was a freshman at the time. You look across the board, Notre Dame is a relatively young squad. There's not too many seniors compared to a lot of squads that you'll see around the country. So they've only gotten better from last season, and the result is indicative of it.
And you got Henderson is the oldest impact player tonight, although I should say there have been a lot of impact players, but at least on the score sheet. Henderson, the junior, but you got Blocker, the sophomore. Got some good passing and a try for Lucy Wilson, a sophomore. Raquel Munoz-Bermudez is just a freshman. She's been doing most of the kicking, also scored in the first half. And Katie Hart, freshman out of Montana, also got on the board tonight. So a lot of youth for this Notre Dame team, and that's helped them to #1, where they will surely stand and perhaps even separate after tonight. Munoz-Bermudez down behind the play as she just gets back to her feet out of view. Wolverines trying to get on the board for the 4th time tonight. In the middle. That looks like a high tackle, yes. Michigan will play with advantage. That's a really strong run. And the ball is turned over, but there's the advantage. And the Wolverines will get that tap and go. Caprio will try to do it herself. Spun around. A lot of bodies right under the shadow of the goalpost. Referee's got a great view, no signal. Ball carrier's driven back. Can't even tell who has it. Now they'll throw it out wide, and there's a nice run. And Michigan scores. And so with under 3 to play, the Wolverines
Try for the Wolverines.
make it interesting.
I love that. Michigan and some of their reserves coming into the game making a bit of an impact. That's a great confidence booster for them. And it's a great experience out on the pitch against the #1 team in the land. So for them to know, hey, we can compete with them too, it's a really rewarding thing and something that they're going to carry with them through the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's going to be a good story in the future. I believe that might have been number 19, Sasha Wells, who got in. Tough to tell. But if it was Wells, she's just into the game as a reserve, and now she's got to try against the #1 team in the country. That's going to sound pretty good to her kids one day.
Yeah.
Back in my day,
That's a good fun fact right there.
absolutely.
And we can say, hey, we announced the #1 team in the country.
I don't think that's quite as special. So 41-24 as time winds down at Stinson Rugby Field. Just about a minute to go on the NCR YouTube channel for the match of the week. A lot of anticipation coming into this one. Early on, Chris, it definitely lived up to the expectation, but Notre Dame's offense just wore this Michigan defense down as the game went along.
Yeah, they're really fast and just twitchy. I mean, they get the ball, and their first step is they're just off in a flash. I mean, it's so fascinating to watch. There's so many star athletes across the board on this Notre Dame team. They're going to be really hard to take down. They got some great physical pieces through the middle, and then you hit the ball out wide. They're able to move the ball real nicely. There's a great cohesive identity about this group. And then you do things like this where they just split a bunch of defenders.
Yeah, so many missed tackles for Desharia Williams. 5 seconds to play in regulation. Next dead ball will end it. And #1 Notre Dame will continue as #1. And for Michigan, they will fall to 2 and 3, with all 3 losses coming to teams in the top 11. That's it. It's official. Notre Dame wins 41-24 on this week's match of the week. And what an offensive showing it was for the Fighting Irish tonight, Chris.
I love this. Blocker and Bermudez. Blocker is actually helping stretch out Bermudez right now. And those two had a brilliant day at the office. Blocker with so many electric plays where she just goes one time, running the length of the pitch en route to a try. All around, this Notre Dame team is fun to watch, and they showed today they can compete against one of the best teams in the land. We mentioned there's a lot of questions to be raised. They haven't really played anybody this year, Charlie. Well, now they got to win against the #4 team in the land, a team they haven't beat in years. This is a statement victory from Notre Dame. Going to be great to see what they do throughout the rest of the year, and the same for Michigan. They're a team that didn't quit. They got tons of talent across the board. We've seen what they are able to do, and they are going to likely end up in the playoffs. I can see these two teams playing one another in the future. I'll have my eyes watched and glued to that game.
Yeah, might as well, Chris. For my partner, Chris Daly, our entire Notre Dame-based crew, led by Aaron Yarbrough and Walter Hoffman, including Jane, Charlotte, and Eric. I am Charlie Morris. Thanks so much for joining us on the NCR YouTube channel. The Fighting Irish are #1, and they are staying #1 after tonight. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy your weekend.